we were jokingly saying brother a lot at the beginning of the episode, or I was. So this one came up. Just a fast one. Somebody that I've met professionally through work, not at my company, essentially a client, immediately started calling me brother.
Immediately?
I mean, we maybe had talked 1 or 2 times on the phone. Now, I'll introduce one extra piece of information I didn't tell you before. Because we're a very tech-driven company where I work, I will frequently say, when I've talked to somebody the first or second time, feel free to call, text, or email. However you prefer to chat.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I think that immediately gives people a bit more of a relaxed posture if they know they can just text me questions. I do it because it often saves a lot of time. I get a lot of questions that are like kind of yes and no answers or short answers. So I prefer text because it's a lot easier than responding to an email or a phone call all the time.
Sure.
And so I realized that for some people might put them in a very relaxed position right away with me. However, and this doesn't bother me, but I am curious, do you think it's interesting for somebody to like almost immediately start calling you brother? This is a male, essentially a client. I don't think females probably would call each other brother. So this really is probably a male to male question.
Sure.
And so you guys had some interesting responses. So feel free to.
I just said that's a bold choice, especially if you're using the word immediately or shortly after only 1 or 2 exchanges. To go straight to brother is an interesting choice. So he must have felt a special invitation from you or a informality with you to feel like that was okay in a professional setting.
And I agree. We even discussed that I think bro is far more, it's a lot easier to let slip.
Right.
Brother feels so much more formal than bro. Like, sure, bro. Like, especially via text.
Sure. Via text. See, this is where it's so weird to me because man to man in situations with, it's happened with a coworker. I don't know if it's ever happened. It probably has with somebody I didn't really know. Might call me brother, but context and like vocal inflection means a lot, even if you're using the full word. Right? Thanks, brother. Is different from saying, "How you doing, brother?"
Yeah, we also were discussing. There's a whole religious element to this where, especially within Christianity, it's not uncommon if you know somebody has similar beliefs, you might refer to them like brother in Christ or sister in Christ, something like that.
But the shorthand is still bro, but the intention behind it is we are both believers, so I'm calling you bro. Right.
He doesn't know any religious background about me at all.
Right.
If he did, that would even make a little more sense.
Right.
That's not it. I don't mind, but it felt very I would never use that with somebody that I hadn't worked with for a very long time or felt very comfortable with.
I would say like in person, it'd be probably pretty easy for me to tell. Via text, not so much. Because I feel like for every man, as you're coming of age, I feel like, or at least you have these thoughts of like, I need to figure out what my repertoire of words is going to be when I'm referring to other guys in a casual manner. Am I going to be a chief kind of guy?
Champ?
Am I going to say bro? Am I going to say brah? Am I going to say champ or sport? Am I going to say brother? And if so, what is it going to sound like when I do it?
Do I sound weird doing it? Need to try it a few times.
You need to try it out a few times.
Yeah.
Every man has done this, right? They've had these thoughts and they have practiced in the car. I have my own list. It has changed here and there over time. I tend to go with bro, regardless of religious affiliation. I call a lot of people bro. I call a lot of people dude. I use both of those. I've used brother before, casually. But again, it's all with the inflection has to be there. It's got to be real quick. You got to tag at the end of the sentence real quick. Thanks, brother. It's fine in my book, no matter who it is. Guy I don't know. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Is different from saying thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Those two things are different in my world. So I could be wrong.
It's funny, as I was thinking, we were just talking about it. another client in a similar situation, I realize, has called me brother now that I think about it.
Oh,
Wow.
But this is
You are bringing this on yourself,
two
sir.
things.
You are.
Two things that
You're
are
too
very
nice to people.
Two things that are very different, and I don't even have any insight. I'm just going to leave it. I've worked with this guy a bunch and have sold with him, and he's from South Africa. And so I think there's an element. It always kind of struck me, now that I'm thinking back, it struck me that was maybe a little bit of a cultural element, because he says it. He says it with a South African accent, and so you just hear it differently versus somebody with essentially an American broadcast standard voice saying brother versus somebody with a thicker accent from another country. I don't know what that means. I have no answers, but it is interesting.
Yeah, that is. So, Kendall, what's your answer to this guy with Dylan?
The South African guy?
Too
No,
soon?
no, no. Too soon for the first guy.
Too soon for the first guy or not?
Over text, I would not have done it.
Yeah.
I would say too soon.
Yeah.
And in person, I would have to hear it.
Because I still text with appropriate grammar all the time, but especially if it's for work. So like I'm not using shorthand language via text.
Right.
It's just more convenient. Yeah, it's interesting.
If he would have spelled it Brutha, I'm cool with it.
Interesting. Okay.
That's like guys.
No, and
that's
he's-
like guys texting each other "love ya," but will not text "I love you."
Sure.
Yeah. And he's not putting brother. There's no, it's like brother.
Right,
spelled
right,
out.
right.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, I feel like the only way to clarify it, if he meant it in the super casual way that I'm hoping he did, then the only way for him to clarify it would be to say brother. But he didn't necessarily have that come to his mind that this is going to be misconstrued because text messages suck when it comes to reading language.
I still use DOOD for dude based on the 2000s film The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. And I realize every year that I get further away from that movie, more people just think I can't spell. But one of the guys in the movie just says, like, I'm not going to go through the whole premise of the film. You should watch it. It's good. He's never heard the word dude before. And he says, the security guard just called the other one dude. And they're like trying to figure out what the word is. He's like, DOOD, dude. And he says it like that. I've always thought it was really funny.
You say it like that too.
Dude. So
Quite a
I
bit.
just,
Yeah.
I just spell it DOOD. And I realize every time I do that with somebody I don't know well, I go, they think I'm an idiot every time.
All right, dudes.
Well, I have therapy tomorrow morning, so I'm just going to start a little early. I did what Kendall just described decades ago, and literally decades ago, and thought, I want to be the type of guy that says bro, brother, dude, and man. So I have said bro, brother, dude, and man for at least 20 years.
You probably should just pick one at a time.
It depends, though. So I do say brother to people that I know are have similar beliefs, and if they do not, or I'm unsure, I will say dude or man. Only if I feel like I have earned some casual rapport with them. I would not say that in a professional context unless it was a colleague that I've worked with for a while. But I did have that moment where I'm like, you know what? I think I want to be the guy that has these. Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Right on.
Anyway, but I do pause if I'm saying brother to a black man, because that has different connotations for them.
Are they going to misconstrue this?
Are they
not
going
as-
to misconstrue this?
Yeah.
That's something that they will say to each other.
Mhm.
But if it's said back to me, I take it as a great honor, and I am very excied to continue saying brother with that.
Wait exactly. I listen for it too. I'm like, if I get brothered, then I'm willing to reciprocate it.
Yes.
but I'm going to.
I'm not going to be the first to say it.
I do the exact same thing.
So, like, if Ray calls you brother the next time you're getting your haircut, you'll
Which
be
he
like,
has.
you'll be like, yeah, like we're there, but I'm not going to say it first.
And with his dad, I've gotten to know his dad. now,
Okay.
too, and his dad's real cool as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
But
yeah. I won't
Man.
say bro first to a black guy, but if it gets said to me, I'm super excited.
yeah.